I spent over $100,000 to find out if Toyota is actually reliable with their new turbo engines. I'm gonna explain everything in today's video, so I'll first give you guys a walk around on my new LX, and then I'll talk about the long-term test series that I'm gonna be doing on this LX. So if you care about Toyotas whatsoever and you're interested in modern Toyotas, this is gonna be the series to follow. Before we get into the review itself, I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Lexus of Murray. I have been filming reviews here since 2019, and this is actually the first new car that I have purchased from them. The buying experience was absolutely fantastic. Shari helped me out. But the point that I'm trying to make here, if you're looking for a new Lexus and you live in Utah or the surrounding states, Lexus of Murray and Lexus of Linden, they're two sister stores. Reach out to them. Great staff at both of these stores. Let's get into the review. Powering this is a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 that is paired to a hybrid system and a 10-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 457 horsepower and then 583 pound-feet of torque. Now, when it comes to fuel economy, I'll let you guys know in a later video what it actually gets in the real world. Now, if my long-term series hasn't convinced you to subscribe, I'm trying to hit 500K before the end of the year. We're getting really close. I'd appreciate it if you'd help out with that. My Overtrail is finished in Nori Green, which is one of the best Lexus colors of all time. I think with the darker headlight bezel and then with the gray grille, the Nori Green just works so well. And yes, I'm with you guys. The front end, well, it's a lot. And that's why I'm still waiting to hear back from them, but that's why I am most likely going to be doing the Descent off-road front bumper. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but yeah, that'll make the front end look a lot better than this. But at least it has fog lights and all the other front end features. Now, the stock tire and wheel setup is 265 by 70 by 18. I'm going to keep the stock wheels for some time, but these stock tires are going to go immediately. I'm going to put 285 by 70 by 18 size tires on it, so 33.7, a full size larger than stock. And that'll make the tire setup a little bit more flush with these blacked out fender flares. You also have the running boards from the factory. And although the front end is a little bit funky, the side profile on the LX I think actually looks really sharp. Now, this does have traditional key fobs, but it also has this little card doodad. I'm actually going to test this out for a while, let you guys know if this is a better experience than a traditional key fob. Let's now pop into the back. Now we have a 2400 watt outlet, just like the 250 Land Cruiser that I did a test on. And this is the big thing about this LX. I ordered this with the third row delete, so you can see that I actually have a very large usable cargo area, unlike the third row version. The 3-row 700H has the third row and shelving system up to pretty much there, roughly. It might be a little bit lower, but you lose a ton of vertical space, whereas this is similar to a 600 with the third row folded down, so very usable. And before I move to the rest of the rear features, if you want that third row delete, you got to go into the Lexus dealer and have them request Lexus to build more of these LXs with a third row delete. Anywho, we've got the light bar here in the back. I got the blacked out badges. And I guess I might have to buy another tire to replace the spare, but I'm also not sure if my oversized tire would fit in the spare tire location, so I'll have to see. But that will cap things off for the exterior. This week's giveaway is all about muscle and luxury with two Cadillac V cars. The first of which is a CT5V Blackwing and the second is an Escalade V. Both these have supercharged V8s producing nearly 700 horsepower each. They also have tons of luxury and modern technology to match. Not only can you win both of these cars, but part of the giveaway is also $73,000 in cash to help pay for the taxes, and your donations go to help children's and veterans charities. Use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. This will give you 4x bonus tickets on any donation, $25 or more. Keyless entry, that's nice, but let's pop in. The rear passengers get sunshades, and then you've got this really cool kind of like black wood trim and just nice trim in general on the door panel. The seats are perforated down the center, and again, very high quality materials all throughout. Now, spacing here in the second row is not actually massive. Again, it's a body on frame SUV with a solid rear axle, so you're gonna lose a little bit of space with the packaging, but it's usable. We've got a little storage pocket there, heated ventilated seats for the second row. You have your own climate zone for the second row too. And then good headroom. That's kind of always been a Land Cruiser thing. And then you do have vents up top too for the rear passengers. Keyless entry for up front. Let's pop in. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. You also have memory seats with this. And by the way, acoustic glass throughout. The mirrors power fold in. I did get the Mark Levinson sound system with this. Now, payload on this is actually not as much as the GX sibling that has the Overtrail package as well. It's only $1190, whereas the GX is over $1,500. You got nice stitching here in the seats. Again, perforated all down the center. Power adjustments with lumbar support on the side. The front passenger doesn't get all of the same front driver's seat features, but it still has the lumbar support and power adjustments. No memory seat function though. Now, I don't know if this is just because this is a nori green car, but you can see the stitching is actually green rather than black or gray, or it might just be the lighting. Now, this is a feature that I'll never use probably, but it does have soft closed doors. The steering wheel itself has soft touch trim. We've got paddle shifters there on the back. You have practical controls like adaptive cruise control, lane centering, volume and voice command controls, and then your regular stocks there on the back. Digital gauge cluster here in the center. It's very customizable. I've turned off some of the safety tech, so it's going to give us some warnings. That is one thing that Toyota could get rid of on their cars within the Toyota and Lexus umbrella, is just make it so that if you turn off the safety tech, it doesn't need to give you a warning that you've turned off the safety tech. This also has a heads-up display, and I like the overall view over the hood and dash and everything. It's very nice. A 360 camera system with this. It does fill in underneath the vehicle as you move. Now, the top section of the infotainment system is actually kind of an afterthought. Basically, they developed the bottom screen first, and then they came out with the new corporate infotainment system, and they just plopped it onto the dash, which isn't a problem in my opinion because it's easy enough to use. And this is where you can access stuff like the massage seat feature. And then this bottom screen that was supposed to be the main screen is now kind of an afterthought, not in terms of the design, but in terms of the features. It basically just gives you the climate controls and then some vehicle features built into it. Again, they kind of designed the car with the screen, so they had to make it do something. You do have a bunch of physical buttons for all the climate controls, and then this is a Land Cruiser, so it's got multi-terrain select crawl control. It has a 2-speed transfer case as well. And luxury to match, you've got the heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. You do get a funky shifter with the 700 versus the 600 that has like the real shifter. This does come with a wireless phone charging pad, and then you've got physical buttons for like the center diff lock to raise and lower the active height control. Again, it's got a hydraulic suspension system that can raise and lower. And then you got the front and rear diff lock buttons, which are kind of hidden a little bit. Again, kind of looks like an afterthought, kind of. Now, I'm not usually a luxury person. I like basic cars, but I will say, refrigerator center console, I won't complain about that ever. And this does have the double latch system where it opens side to side. And then finally, more nice trim on the dash. I mean, the build quality and fit and finish is fantastic with the LX. You've got the camera rear view mirror, and then we do have just a regular sunroof. All in, this stickered for over $117,000, so RIP to my financial security. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do for YouTube views. Let's drive it. Oh, the LX that I just purchased. I'll get my seat adjusted a little bit later. I usually I'm not a short person, but I like to sit my seat up a little bit higher because I found in trucks and SUVs, instead of sitting down in the vehicle, if you actually sit basically up in the vehicle, right, you have your seat a little bit higher, it's actually just a nicer driving experience. I enjoy it. The only downside is traffic lights. Sometimes you got to duck a little bit to be able to see, but just try it out. And what I will say is it's the best off-road. Like if you're off-roading, I actually recommend as high as you can go in the seat, unless you're doing like super high-speed off-roading. You don't want to hit your head in the ceiling, but as high as you can go in the seat, it's the best, so you can really see the sight lines on the car. There's a fellow Nori Green, but you're not an Overtrail. I'm already an elitist, you know, so I guess it's already happening. So let's quickly talk about the series. If you're not familiar with me, I review cars for a living, and I live here in Utah, so I am driving up and down what we call the Wasatch Front every single week. On average, every single year, I drive about 40 to 45,000 miles. Now, some of that is going to be on other vehicles, right? I get press cars sometimes, but the press cars are actually happening less and less. I'm going to make another video talking about why that is happening. So most of the mileage gets put on my personal vehicles, and because this long-term test is super important in my opinion, I'm going to be putting most of the miles on this car. So this car is going to probably get at least 30, 35, maybe even 40,000 miles on it every single year. So it's not going to take me that long to get this thing up to over 100,000 miles on the odometer. Now, on top of that, I already prepaid for the maintenancing up to 90,000 miles with this car. So I'm already set up to take this in every 5,000 miles for an oil change, tire rotation, and then all the major maintenances are also covered under that. And I got a warranty up to 125,000 miles. extended on top of the manufacturer's already 60,000. I think it's like 60,000 for the powertrain. So the point I'm trying to make is maintenance and warranty coverage is already a thing on this car up to about 100,000 miles, right? When you look at things. So I'm doing this test in good faith. I'm not going to, you know, not do an oil change for 20,000 miles, have the engine blow up and then go, oh, Toyota's not reliable, right? Because people do that all the time, right? They don't properly maintain their cars. No, this car is going to be in the shop every 5,000 miles to get an oil change and tire rotation. I'm going to do all the major maintenances, you know, the 30, the 60, the 90,000 mile maintenances, all of it. So I'm going to give Toyota the best possible chance. So if something does in fact happen to this car, right, then the chances of it being my fault are very, very slim. Obviously, if I drive it off a cliff, then yeah, that's different. But you know, if I'm just driving down the road and the engine fails, it's not like I'm not giving it an oil change. It's not like I'm not taking it in for maintenance. Like, I will be doing everything. And most of my driving is basically through towns on the highway. And then, you know, I do have some, I'm going to do some off-roading with this. This is an Overtrail, right? It's got 3 diff locks. So I will be taking this off-road. I'll be using it as intended. Am I going to be doing crazy off-roading with it? No, this isn't. I understand what this is. It's not a Raptor, right? This is a Land Cruiser. It's meant to be able to handle challenging off-roading, but it's not meant to be, it's, when people say that Land Cruisers can be abused, what they're referring to is the fact that this can be off-road for many, many miles and be just fine. But what they're not referring to is you take it off-road, send it off a jump at 50 miles an hour like you do with a Raptor or a TRX. I've done that. No, that's not what this is about. So I'm going to be giving this an honest test because I think it'll be very valuable for people to see if Toyota's new truck platform, right? How's the this has the same platform as the Tundra, the Sequoia, the GX, it's the same platform underneath all the cars. This has the same powertrain as most of the Toyota's new trucks. It's got the hybrid system that's in a lot of their new vehicles. So if something fails in this, it is likely to fail in other vehicles. Now, will it fail for 100% chance? No. But the Lexus, the Land Cruisers have always been known as the most reliable, the most overbuilt. If you maintain a Land Cruiser properly, what you typically get is hundreds of thousands of miles of problem-free ownership. So we're just going to see if that's the case. I'm really excited to test it out. I will say, when it comes to the driving experience, as I'm testing this out, I'm going to really enjoy it. Like, this is probably, I mean, this is not probably, this is the nicest car I have ever purchased. It's the most expensive by a long shot. Very stressful to purchase such an expensive car. But I'm not going to mind testing it. Like, I'm not going to mind getting a massage, right? I think that'll be a very pleasant experience. I don't have it on right now. And then this has like double pane windows all throughout the car. It's so quiet inside. Like, this is basically a Mercedes S-Class, but you can also drive it up the side of a mountain. So if it is reliable long-term also, it'll be probably one of the coolest cars ever, because it's like, man, you can get basically a full-on S-Class-like experience in something that you could take to pretty much anywhere on the planet. Let me know what you guys think about this series, and just so you know, I have a playlist labeled LX Build. You can just look at it on my channel. Every single video that is part of the series will be in that playlist, so you can basically, it's kind of like, I don't know, like a DVD or something, right? It's like the YouTube version of a DVD. So you can just go through and you can follow, if you're like, you know, don't see my videos for a while, you can just go to the playlist and then catch up. I'm going to be doing, obviously, you know, I'll do like an off-road video once I'm going to get the bigger tires on this, and I'll have some updates here and there, but the main part of the series will be every 5,000 miles. I'll give you guys an update. Now, some of the videos might not be all that exciting because it's going to be like, hey, nothing happened. But it'll be, you know, kind of just a continual update. Like, here's what happened during this part, this 5,000 miles of service interval. Here's what happened during the next 5,000 miles of service interval. So it'll be quite a few videos over the course of the next, you know, 100,000 plus miles. But I think it'll be valuable. And the last thing I'm going to say before capping off this video, if the viewership on this series is strong enough that I can justify putting 200,000 miles on the car, I will. So if you guys pay with your attention, I suppose is what I will put it, then once we finish the 100,000 mile test, I'll go up to 200,000 miles, which will be very scary because I'll have no warranty well, I mean, I have the warranty up to 125,000 miles, but past that, everything will be on me. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how well the car treats me for the first 100.